Championship leader Jerry Peachman went round in 36.744. Mike Smith returned 37.023, with Larry Gage not too downbeat about his fifth.
Fifth might be a good place to sit from the side and pick up some air after the first turn.
A lot of people would say fifth on a grid of 40 laps really is pretty good.
Yeah, I think, you know, I'm one of the bigger boys and stamina is going to be a key here. There's a lot of turns and a lot of laps.
Yeah, practice was pretty good. Like Larry says, the gusting conditions were a little bit awkward. When we went out for the second time trial, the rain had been down, the air was a bit thicker and heavier, and I just managed to fling a couple of good ones in there and make it very difficult for Jerry to get anywhere near.
I think that in this class particularly, the start is very, very important, and we are very fortunate that the boat from the pontoon is very, very quick. You know, we've got the right setup for acceleration from the pontoon, and in the last rounds we've almost been first with the buoy every time. So
I'm not here to come second, you know, I'm here to win, but you know, it's the look of the draw at the end of the day. So how quick we are off the dock, how many restarts, you know. We could win, we could not, you know, hopefully I'll win.
If I don't make the first mark, it's going to be a really difficult race for me, because the other two that are around me are very quick as well. They're about the same speed, so it's going to have to be working with the back markers to try and get an advantage around the corners.
Is there a case maybe here for a smaller prop at the start to get you off the line quicker?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely need to be running a small prop anyway to be getting any good speeds around this course, so everyone will be using a small propeller, so everyone's going to be quick off the start.
And after winning round 1, points are now crucial for Jelf. He missed round 2 and 3, campaigning Europe. Today, he has to play catch-up. But first, he must pass number 1, Ted Walsh. And the sun shines on the 12 fastest Formula 2 drivers in the UK, lining up on the pontoon. Large crowds all around Winnan Lake anticipate the fourth shootout of the Tour. Join us again in a couple of minutes. Lake Milton Keynes, the Union flag indicates the drivers are ready. And here they go. On board with Walsh at 100 miles an hour. First turn coming up, and Peachman out of picture on the right. We'll get there first. Jelf is second. On board with Walsh. That's a nightmare for him. He's fifth. Smith now, number 13 on Jelf, number 4. Second place is the issue. Jelf with the inside track. But Colin Jelf pushing Smith wide to his right extinguishes any thought Smith might have had about cutting inside. Walsh on the comeback. But he's way back. Peachman is almost at the top mark again. Jelf is out of picture on the left, hanging it wide in an attempt to cut inside. Peachman round, almost clipping the mark and almost losing the lot as he accelerates away down the straight. Jelf also in trouble. And Walsh, witnessing that, eased off the throttle. He's on his way again. But 400 metres behind Peachman, who sets a blistering pace. First lap, average speed 142.360 kilometres an hour. And that's 3.1 kilometres an hour quicker than Walsh's top qualifying lap of 139.260. And one of the Norman boats there in trouble on the left. As the leaders turn to run in, the first casualty limps home, and it's Larry Gage. Walsh is most definitely still running. And so is Jelf, hard on the heels of Peachman, who stands his ground, throws the boat into the mark at close on 110 kilometres an hour, producing there a pull of around 6G. Smith, number 13, is dropping back a little. Walsh, gridlocked in fifth. His last lap average speed, 139.140 kilometres an hour, is 3.182 kilometres an hour, slower than Peachman's fast lap, and 0.12 slower than his best qualifying lap. That gave him pole position, but he's in trouble here. He's stopped. Well, it's going from bad to worse. Peachman is round again, still beating off Jelf at almost every turn. But Walsh won't be bothering him. That's the end of the racing day for pole position man. Last year's champion, finished 7th in this race last year. This year, there will be no finish. He can only watch as Peachman continues to plunder. 142.872 kilometres an hour on his last lap, 0.512 faster than his previous best lap. Mark Rolls number 2 and 4th, about a second ahead of Shulver, 2 seconds behind Smith. Jelf and Peachman, though, are almost 5 seconds further ahead again. And another look here at Peachman, flying by the seat of his pants, as was Jelf alongside. My guess is caught by a wicked wash from the jet skis in the adjoining lake. And here is Colin Jelf, still chasing the championship leader. Number 13 is Smith, his fastest lap, 140.463 kilometres an hour. No match for Peachman's 142. And apart from Jelf, 0.99 of a second adrift, no one with too much to offer. Here comes Rolls. Oh, and right up now on the back of Mike Smith. That's a very good lap indeed for Mark Rolls. 141.084 kilometres an hour. 0.621 quicker than Smith. So the battle for bronze is about to get interesting. And Peachman once again, just one blade of the propeller in the water, balancing the boat on the last couple of inches at the back. Quite scary. And he's round again, halfway point in the race approaches, and still no one else has topped 142 kilometres an hour. Especially Gage, in for repairs on the second lap, but now back in the fray, but a long, long way back. Finished 5th in round 2 at Chasewater, 3rd at Alton Broad, 7th in the championship so far. He needs every point. Down the start, finish straight, comes Colin Jelf, and it's not good news. The gap between himself and Peachman has suddenly gone from 0.990 seconds to almost 4. Serious problems, probably of a mechanical nature. Smith and Rolls in their battle for bronze will now be catching him up. So Peachman with a breather then, if you can call it that, starting to look good for a 3rd win in 4 races. 140.007 miles an hour on his last lap. And Mark Rose still chasing Mike Smith, and another high flyer almost reaches takeoff point. Number 11 it is, Nigel Whitlam, with a heart-stopping moment. For him, that is. A few more degrees in an upwards direction, delivers a backflip. And there it is again. Doesn't look that close to going over, but I can assure you it is. An extra puff of breeze is all it takes. Back with Rolls and his quest for something a little better than 4th. Smith's through, and Rolls is gradually applying the tourniquet necessary. There's Smith. And Rolls flying round the buoy, took that almost flat out, looking for the fast line on the outside, and he's got it! Smith is nailed on a part of the track he would least expect. And Mark Rolls moves into 3rd place. Known on the circuit for his fighting qualities, never gives in, hustles, harries, not shy of taking the odd risk. The name of his game is to force the error. Consistent pressure is the weapon, and once again, from a quite unlikely position, he's back in podium contention. And of course, he might yet catch Colin Jelf, who's slowing. Oh, not quite as slow as Ted Walsh. And you can see there from the lap positions, Jelf still leading Rolls by a considerable margin. 41 seconds is in excess of a lap. A lot now will depend on how serious Jelf's problem is. Peachman, meanwhile, keeps himself out of trouble on the far side. 37 is Brian Shulver. Haven't seen too much of him. Quietly consolidating 5th. Ahead of 11, Nigel Whitlam, who was entertaining us a couple of laps ago. He finished 6th in the opening round, 8th last time out at Alton Broad. Pulling wide here to let Colin Jelf through, at the same time enjoying a little tete-a-tete with Smith there, albeit a lap down. And moving back, 71, Bill Owen from Wigan. 7 must be his lucky number. 7 in round 1, 7th in round 2, 7th again here. 54, Billy Nairn, 9th in round 1. He's only finished 8th here so far. driving a Jelf boat designed and built by Colin Jelf's dad, Ted. His fast lap, 125.842 kilometres an hour. And goodness knows how many laps down, but Larry Gage is still going. 6 points if he can, and it's a big if, finish. No such problems for Peachman. Smith has been lapped, which means only Rolls and Jelf are now on the same lap. And there is Jelf. No visible reason why he was forced to abandon the chase of Peachman. He will know. We will have to wait. And Mark Rolls, although he's currently almost 2 kilometres an hour quicker than Jelf, still hasn't unlapped himself. The chances of a confidence-boosting second place ebbing away as each lap passes. But as we've already said, he never gives up. But Jelf is a long, long way ahead. In fact, there he is. Number 4, winner of the first round, and a driver difficult enough to catch and pass when you're 4 seconds behind, let alone 40. And he's picked up the pace a little bit. After a string of laps at 138 and 139 kilometres an hour, the last one at 140.096 will probably have killed off Rolls' last lingering ambitions. Jelf finished 5th here last year behind Peachman. His brother Owen, Paul Blackburn and Paul Noon were behind Peachman, so he won't be too unhappy. Taking another look here at Mark Rolls, keeping it tight, and in spite of being 7 kilometres an hour short of a full load in qualifying, has hoisted himself up to 3rd place. It's been a strong and aggressive drive. And with Peachman already into his penultimate lap, it's surely all over, barring breakdowns. His lead over Jelf in 2nd place, an unprecedented 24 seconds. And the advantage over Brian Shulver in 5th is an excess of 87 seconds. Smith there, number 13, still in 4th. His best of season so far, a 4th in round 2. Should he get another today, he'll lift himself up 1 place to 4th. Leader overall, round the top mark, down the finish straight with 1 lap to go. Jerry Peachman, number 10, started from grid 3 and is now less than 40 seconds away from his 3rd win of the series and a tightening grip on the title. It's been a super show. His first lap average speed of 142.360 kilometres an hour set up the opportunity. And apart from some sustained pressure early from Colin Jelf, little has troubled him since. Round the corner, here he comes, into the finish straight. Will lap number 54, Billy Nairn, for the 3rd time. And Jerry Peachman wins the 4th round of the British Formula Grand Prix Series by a handsome margin indeed. And the winning distance confirmed. 24.88 seconds over Colin Jelf, who incidentally, we are told, was driving with a boat full of water. And as a delighted Jerry Peachman returns to pick up the checkered flag, it's time for us to pick up on the points. Good news for the championship leader, not so good for the champion. He drops a place to the hard-charging Mark Rolls. Shulver, Smith and Jelf are separated by 4 points, but Larry's gauge is less than half full.
After the first bend it looked easy, but you're going to tell me it probably wasn't.
Definitely not. Definitely not. I mean, all the guys, especially the guys who run at the front, are very, very competitive. And I knew that with these 2 guys behind, it wasn't going to be easy at all.
How did you get to that first bend first?
Well, I mean, it was actually quite difficult because there was a dog leg before the first actual turn buoy, and we were told in driver's briefing to leave enough room, so I was conscious of Colin, because he normally does start very well, to leave him enough room, but also to try and make the turn. So you know, I was fortunate that the boat fired and just left the line and I was away.
It was you before the race who said,